So so that runabout is actually escorting is with you guys, but it's just gonna be hanging back, and Corvinus is actually on the shuttle until they find out what's going on. So where we start off is we're at the wormhole. I'll take you over to the map, so you know.
So the wormhole's right there.
We'll be starting off at near the wormhole. Oh, I was wondering who dropped. Yeah. So, um, can what's that science?
Could be Velik if you want to do science.
Yeah, Velik. Give me a insight. Science.
All right. And what am I exactly inspecting? Or not exactly, I guess, but just a general idea.
Mm,
Is he doing a scan?
yeah. Doing a scan.
Scan. Okay. Let's see. So maybe quantum mechanics or EVA or something like that could work as a focus. I mean.
He also has research. I don't know if that or xenobiology.
Research. Yeah.
I would say you do have a focus that applies.
Thanks. Here we go. First roll. Oh wow. Okay. That's a 3.
Yeah, you have two. You do have two momentum. You do pick up a strange mammal in space. In yeah, heading towards the wormhole.
Do I have any idea what it's saying, or maybe can I hear it somehow?
No, I hear it.
Say animal or mammal,
Mammal, more specifically.
and it's just it's no ship or force field around it. It's just in space.
In space.
Okay, animal would be weird. Mammal is exceptionally weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Do I know which direction it's coming from? From where we are right now?
You know that it's coming from the Dominion section of space.
Okay, right.
All
right, well, sorry, go.
But they do not look like they're hostile. That's the... you could only get a scan that's on the outside, so you don't know how many are technically on the inside.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't suppose I know how far they are. Or at least an approximate destination.
I would say they're in... Yeah?
In voice chat. He's in main sort of thing.
You're cutting out a bit, guy.
Yeah.
I think he's in another voice chat.
Yeah, the voice chat connected to the calendar.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah, I see him. I'll let him know. You guys continue.
Right. Okay. So, do I get an approximate distance from where we are?
They're about 2 hours away.
2 hours. Okay.
And they're
Alright.
looking at they're coming from the Dominion space, not trying to draw attention. The only reason you picked them up was because you did a scan of the area for a good reason.
Right. I will inform the whoever's piloting, I guess, that we apparently have company in about 2 hours from us, and maybe we should stay clear of them, or at least let them go their own way, not interrupt them.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, am I in the right one now?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Mac, you want to go ahead and quickly tell him what happened in the first few minutes?
Basically, he's found a memo in space, pretty much.
I met him coming from through the wormhole. Remember?
Oh yeah, you pretty much got shuttled in by with Velik through the wormhole, and you met the shuttle. And Corvinus, yeah, you're on the Republic, so you don't know much why you had to leave the Republic. But yeah, you ended up oh, I need to follow this the teacher, because yeah, because it sounds suspicious that
Paranoiacal Burr and just get the hell out of there as soon as the order is sent.
pretty much the Republic got blown up.
Yeah, and on that theme, when Bellic suggests to the wider ship that, or at least the pilot, that we should just let these interesting scientific anomalies go on their way, but otherwise don't do much about it, Soth will concur and say, I quite agree. We have much more pressing and immediate concerns to allow ourselves to be waylaid by this admittedly very interesting scientific curiosity. But there is a crisis that we must pay attention to first.
So, and Mac can totally contradict what I'm about to say, but I did some calculations earlier, and the time it would take at the warp capability to get you guys to the wormhole would be about 5 days. So the urgency, oh no, it was 10 minutes ago, that's long gone. You guys have been in warp and going to sleep and waking up for a couple days now when you guys encountered the other runabout. So you still probably should follow the orders and escape and get through the wormhole and all that, but it's not like it just happened 10 minutes ago. This has been a couple days, so just wanted to clarify.
Okay.
Yes. So basically, you've been at warp for about 5 days by now.
Wait,
Soth will keep thinking that they might be being chased, so he'll be keeping a metaphorical eye out to their rear all the time. But yeah, if there's that slightly takes the pressure off.
That's why I was I got the reason science scanned on, because just in case anyone was being paranoid about something. But yeah, I was that's the only thing you pick up is the strange memo in space.
Wait, are we with as well? Are we
Cut out a
ship
lot
them?
there.
Yeah, if you want,
Oh.
if you're using your phone, you might want to switch to push to talk because that's usually the problem. Wait for him to come
Yeah.
back and tell him. It could also be signal, but usually it's just not picking up every other word. Hey guy, are you
Sorry
on your
about-
phone or are you using
Yeah,
the computer?
phone.
Okay, if you switch to push to talk, it'll be easier because sometimes it just doesn't
Yeah.
detect your every other word. It happened yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, so Gray, you're definitely with everyone on the ship.
Oh, how do I sound now?
Much better.
Okay. Basically, when there's a moment's peace, Kavira, Karava, I mean, she's gonna basically just run up to Velik and basically give him a hug and like ask him like how he's been, kind of thing.
And of course, Velik gives a nod and hugs back and says, "Well, it's been the usual, typical Starfleet Federation, and some Vulcan meditation in between. I've picked up a couple of new books, mostly philosophical, but nothing of much else really. How about you?"
Yeah, but everything was going fine until the campus went crazy.
Crazy. Sounds like an interesting story. You'll have to tell me sometime.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, as user definitely go on continue talking. Does anyone want to do anything over the next 2 hours?
I think Cadet Hines is going to approach Instructor Runa and say in a kind of nervous tone, as he often does, um, Instructor, I know we're trying to head back to Alpha Quadrant, but I'm not. I don't think it's gonna. I mean, our job is Starfleet. Future Starfleet officers is to explore new life and all that, and that's literally what's out there. And taking a couple hours off the course to do that, I think that would be pretty reasonable. But obviously, you're the ranking officer here. That's just my suggestion, Lieutenant.
Good point, Haynes. That's why I haven't
Hines.
told Hines. Good point, Hines. It's me, the player, not the character.
I know. I'm just messing with you.
Basically, I think that's why I didn't tell the pilot to go through the wormhole, because the life form is worth studying.
So, are you guys did you actually tell the pilot to veer off course? I don't remember if you did or not.
Basically, I'll
it was
say
more
to
of a, like stay the course, but just try and avoid them if you can. Like don't get in their way, sort of thing. Yeah. But I mean, since we have a lot of time, we could probably just start investigating So in a sense, like what they're doing, where they're heading, things like that, and we can draw fire
Yeah.
if you want.
Yeah. Roll me another reason science. An hour goes past. Roll me a reason science.
So on.
No, yeah.
Oh, sorry, that's
You,
inside. My bad.
yeah. Don't worry. It was supposed to be insight. Anyway, basically, the creatures are definitely heading your way. They're wanting to go to the wormhole, and you are at the wormhole.
Right.
As we were approaching over the past hour or so, obviously our position has changed. Have the unknown mammals just been heading straight for the wormhole the whole time, or have they been adjusting their course to always come towards us?
They're just continuing going to the wormhole. Yeah, and you are coming from the wormhole straight to them.
Carver will probably ask one of the new person that came aboard. Should ask him what do you think about these creatures?
I'm assuming you're asking BR since he's the only new one.
Oh yeah. It's just like I've never met you before. Who are you as well?
His mic might not work.
Yeah,
It's definitely
we can't
working.
really hear you. Yeah. I mean, you're lighting up, but we can't hear anything.
Yeah, you can't even speak, man.
Which is odd because we could hear you earlier.
Yeah. Could be a gilded mobile thing.
Yep.
Whoever's playing games on your phone, we can hear it.
BR?
I think he's checking to see if he can fix it. So the trajectory of those space whales, it looks like, was always coming towards the wormhole. I think Cadet Hines is going to suggest to both Runa as well as the pilot to kind of adjust the course. Maybe we should adjust course so that we're not directly between. If we are, I don't know, we might not be, but just make sure we're not directly between them and the wormhole if that's their destination.
My character says make it so.
They want me to do a piloting for that?
Yeah, just do a control con roll. It's gonna be difficulty 0 roll. You get one extra momentum.
I forgot to roll for the ship earlier, so I'm rolling for the ship for sensors and for the engines.
Yeah.
So we get another momentum.
Yep.
Looks like it wasn't
So
working.
far.
Welcome back.
You alive?
Sometimes.
Still nothing, so. By the way,
Yeah, I don't think he's. Yeah.
I'll ask. Heinz will ask Velik, what's the ETA on the whale's arrival here in this general vicinity?
Oh yeah. It should be about 2 hours.
Okay, so
It's an hour now, because we.
an hour did
yeah.
pass. Yeah.
Oh right.
Yeah. No.
Okay. So yeah, I'll just I guess we just wait and see when they show up. See what happens. See what they look like. Get a bunch of scans, obviously.
Yep.
As we
So
likely lack the time and the resources to do anything more detailed than simply take scans.
yep.
Yeah, I'm also curious if they're going through the wormhole to the Alpha Quadrant, or if they're coming to the wormhole for some other reason. Like maybe they feed on the Verteron particles that is emitted once the wormhole's open, or something like that.
You don't know. Another hour pass, and the whales are on approaching years. And by the time you Bella, give me a insight science before the shuttle actually gets consumed, goes in the midst of them.
That's 2.
Are they in visual range?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I'll put their picture on.
Imagine that, but multiple.
And how many do we have? Is it like 5, 10?
You can only pick up the first 5, but there looks like there's more behind them.
Right.
Cadet Hines just stares in awe with his mouth half hanging open, staring out the porthole.
Describe them as mammals. What's their from these scans? What is their respiratory system like?
Basically, how can I best describe it? Is they're definitely having a. They look like a normal whales, like fully. When you do the scan, they look like a normal whales internal, but there is like, you know how you have the bit at the connecting to your throat. Forget what it is. Yeah, they have a little tentacle that actual drops in there, and this is what you get from one of them. Is you don't know what it is, but it's something interesting as well, because they're also not just like we like, oh, I need to go to this one place because it's my basic instinct.
Question. Are they essentially flying at warp, or are they flying in at sublight speeds?
They dropped out of warp when they saw your shuttle.
They were at warp, so they were projecting a warp field?
Or some other form of
Yes.
faster than light travel that resembles warp.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So other than a strange... I mean, Soth has many questions that he'll be asking probably Velik, but just to do a brief rundown, have whales that come up as normal whales shy of a tentacle-like creature in their throat, or tentacle-like appendage in their throat, that are able to cope with temperature, pressure, they're warm-blooded, air-breathing, warp-capable whales. Okay, I want one of these on the dissection table. That's not going to happen, but I want one. Of the many concerns that Soth has about this scenario, he will immediately, however, turn to Velik and say, Velik, they're about to enter the wormhole, and these creatures are already full of impossibilities and things that should not be. Are you confident that their presence will not stabilize the wormhole in any way?
Well, I suppose we don't know for sure. I imagine.
I can tell you, no, it won't. 3. But I can also tell you that, like, their top half of their body is like a somewhat of an armor shell. So if anyone wanted to try and take it, like, they would have to attack it from the underside. That's where they don't have any armor defenses.
I think
Yeah.
Heinz is gonna
And
say,
that's what you pick up on.
Once Heinz sees that, I think he's gonna say, in addition to all the other strange things about these whales, the fact that they have armor on one side and not the other in space means that they may not have originated in space.
Possible.
Lex will
question is-
ask whoever's at the science console, can these things project defense fields? Like our force fields?
Does it look like it, GM?
You don't know. They haven't projected anything like that yet. And you probably assume, yeah, they haven't done it yet, but you have
Maybe
a
there is
strong
some sort of trigger that they need in order to present something like that. Like if someone
yeah.
or something. Yeah.
Could we determine how thick their armor is and what it's made out of?
That's either you go do a spacewalk, which we don't have any. How quickly we had to get off the planet, you don't have any of the.
So the sensors don't tell us how thick their armor is. I understand not knowing what it's made of, but because it could be something super foreign, but it doesn't tell us how thick into their flesh their armor is.
Basically, you know how strong the ship's armor is? It's pretty much like that.
Oh, so it's more like a hull. Because I'm imagining, like, because there's TV shows with, like, biological or organical ships, like Moya from Farscape or the Gom2 from TNG. Like, that's what I'm imagining this is less an actual whale and more like some kind of modified species that resembles whales, if that makes any sense.
Pretty much it's a whale, but they have armor that resembles like a ship's armor.
An exotic metal, okay.
Let's say
carbon fiber or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, Krava, she'll speculate to Z about the ship thing. Maybe at one point it was a ship, and maybe it kind of evolved or something into being like a whale. Maybe that's her speculation.
Basically, you can tell that it is a whale, but for some reason it has like armor pieces that protects itself.
Yeah, Heinz is gonna say, I think it started on a planet, and it somehow, I don't think it evolved. I don't think this is natural. I think something happened to it, and it's now, because it's not just one or two. It's like a whole freaking herd of them. Something happened. Maybe their planet was destroyed or something, and now but something happened, whether it's intentional or not, and now these whales are now floating through space at warp. But yeah, see, that doesn't explain how they can go to warp, so I don't know. Yeah, if anyone else wants to speculate.
Yeah, well, Soth is going to add to that and say, well, I believe they're most likely engineered beings, though for what purpose? Perhaps they were engineered hundreds of generations ago and then evolution took on from there. He shrugs his shoulders. I'm wildly speculating at this point.
Well,
he
that's...
turns to Velik.
Yes.
Oh, no, you please carry on.
No, sorry, go ahead. Continue.
He turns to Velik and says, since your scans showed them to be mammals early on, although I do think we have to cease thinking of them as whales, they will have a heartbeat and they will need to breathe. Maybe they're able to hold their breath, but I doubt they're able to hold their breath for this long. What do your scans show you about their lungs and hearts? And also any waste gases they may be expelling.
Velik turns like his eyebrow just a little bit up. He knows.
Give me insight, science.
No science. Okay.
And who's our medical personnel?
Whoever's science, because medical's not here.
Okay, basically, Velik, how's Velik's medical looking?
It's at 2. It's not great.
Hey, I might have to look.
Yeah, I'm looking at Heinz right now. He's at
Bravo.
3.
Oh.
3.
Yeah, I'll get Heinz to roll in.
Can it be reason instead of
reason
insight?
medical?
Okay, good.
Yeah, reason, because he's asking specifically for the heartbeat and lungs, how they're actually working.
Okay, yeah, because I think that's the key to all of this. So if we have 4 momentum, I'm gonna spend 1 if everyone's okay with that.
Sure.
Get an extra dice.
Yeah.
Ooh, I actually don't have a focus in this. That's interesting. I mean, unless you count computers, because I'm using the ship's computers as to scan this thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can say that. Yeah.
Oh, and also perception,
because you have
because
to
I have to actually use my eyeballs for this. All right, so I'm gonna,
yes.
Can someone also roll for the ship? It'll probably be sensors medicine or computers medicine.
Yeah, sure.
Oh wow, nice.
Because you're actually using the ship's computers. Yeah.
By the way, what's the difficulty?
I was gonna make it 3.
3. Okay.
I was gonna make it 3. Yeah.
So we got.
So you get an extra.
Our 4.
I don't
we got
know where
4
it was
momentum.
gone, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 back to 4.
Yeah. All right, cool. So I got it.
So basically, you can tell that they are definitely breathing in space.
And they're exhaling CO2 like an earthbound mammal.
You don't know what's happening, but it's basically they're 100% breathing in space.
It could be some weird like Q thing, like something outside of the norm that we would consider science and all that good stuff. Like it could be somebody just messing with us or messing with these whales. It would explain the armor on the back but not the stomach, because it's not from space, and a couple other things.
Does their intake and digestion work like a ram scoop?
That's interesting.
Yep. Basically, it seems like they have the same qualities as a normal whale on Earth, but in space.
Would my
So
You know what I'm referring to as a ram scoop, right?
Yep.
so would my
Basi-
would my medicine scan be able to determine if they're, because whales, when they open their mouth in the water, they just take in a bunch of random little shit to eat and whatever. Are they doing that in space?
Yep.
Okay, so basically
But
whatever
they
they
make
happen
sure-
to come across, they devour.
Getting interstellar
Yeah.
krill.
Interesting.
Yeah,
So we shouldn't
Interstellar.
ban these frequencies?
Well, basically, you get no response if you when you open hail frequencies, you don't get any response back.
And it's not like we can play whale song at them; it won't carry through the vacuum of space.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that's another thing, though. If they're whales from a planet, meant to be in the water, and then some creature came and decided to mess with them, and now they can suddenly somehow breathe in space, maybe for some crazy weird reason their whale song does travel in space for the same reason that they can breathe in space.
Who's empathic or telepathic?
I don't know if we have
I
anybody.
think that would only be the Vulcan.
Yeah.
Not through normal, like through conventional means, like touching. Yes, but not otherwise.
Nostra,
Yeah.
I could barely hear your voice, just so you know.
Oh, really?
Nostra, not you.
Oh,
Wait, what?
Okay,
I don't think we have any actual telepaths or
Sorry,
empaths.
just,
Yeah, I heard Nostra
Either
say
one.
something. I just wanted to make sure she was.
I didn't say anything. It's
Oh,
just
okay.
kind of a weird audio bug thing.
Gotcha.
Do we have any spacesuits?
No, we left them because we're in a hurry.
Although I do imagine we've got a replicator on board that in pieces can make a suit.
Well, usually most runabouts have usually 2 suits on as part of the standard kit, don't they?
Maybe.
For some strange reason, they haven't been put back on.
Yeah.
Crava, will suggest she's gonna be like, V, we can make a spacesuit out of the replicator, and you can try and talk to the whale.
You want me to mind meld with them?
It has been done before.
It has been done before, indeed. with some consequences, I suppose. Put it mildly. I suppose that's an idea. However, before we do that, I'd like to know, and we could scan this by the way as well. Do they seem as if they have a mind of their own, or is it like some sort of a programmed routine that they're following?
You can tell they got. You can tell they got intelligence.
Oh, they have. Okay. Right.
Yeah, because once they actually they dropped out of warp when they automatically would have sensed yous in space. They stopped in front. They dropped out of warp in front of yous.
Are they still moving towards the wormhole, or did they just stop in front of us?
They are continuing to go to the wormhole, but they dropped out of warp.
Right in front of us. Gotcha.
Right.
Has any of the science people detected any signals coming off of them? Whether that be something conventional, subspace, something?
Yeah, they could be remote controlled. As horrific as that sounds, we have seen similar things in the past.
Well, even like sensors still give off a pulse that can be detected. Anything like that could be detected.
Basically, they aren't being controlled. I can tell you that. It looks like they're trying to flee from Dominion territory, but you don't know if they are originated in Dominion territory. Looks like they've been traveling for a while.
Okay.
Also, what is it about their presentation that's giving us flee information rather than just "we are moving"? Is there something in their presentation that makes it look like they're going, "Oh crap, we've got to run"?
Yeah, pretty much. You can actually see they've been in space for a very long time, and they've been escaping somebody for a while.
Is there
escaping?
Does
there
like
battle damage?
Yeah, I was about to say, do they have like scars on them on their armor?
Yes.
They do. Okay, that
yes. 100% they got battle damage. They came out of Dominion space. That means they're known that they came through. I should not say through, but they were in the infamous Legion's territory. So
I was-
you can guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe
You can,
something the infamous. This screams the infamous manipulation all over it.
Yeah.
Can someone scan their wounds, the battle damage, and tell what type of weapon was used on him?
Yeah,
Sure, I can scan.
Yeah.
we could scan or spend momentum to obtain information. That'll probably be, unless it's a bigger difficulty than 1. But I imagine, I mean, that's up to the GM. But
basically, you can spend or roll.
We can spend. We have 4.
yeah,
So
unless a Dominion dreadnought drops out of warp immediately, I think we're good on momentum.
Yeah, you're good for a moment. You're good for that. You can spend it.
Okay, so what kind
for
of weapons
Dominion
we dealing
Dreadnought
with?
is
Basically basically this the scarring looks like it's both Dominion and the infamous Legion's attack.
Which they use anti-proton, so it would have dug a lot deeper than a regular disruptor. Okay.
Yeah.
So that explains. You know what? I'm thinking they're trying to hunt these things and harvest them for something. The only thing I still have I'm trying to figure out is why are they so special? Like, clearly, what I'm thinking is the infamous and the Dominion are like, oh, these things can breathe in space. Oh, these things were meant, they have armor that we can use. Oh, these things are this and that and the other, and they're really special. We're gonna hunt them. But that doesn't explain like where they originally came from or how they got to be that way. That's what I'm kind of stuck on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Soth is thinking it's got to be Q or Q-like entity, because even if, say, the infamous allegiance were to create these creatures, they're still bound by physics, and these things are just ignoring known physics. So he's thinking something that is just, as I said, Q or Q-like to explain this.
DJ's in the back going, yeah, I see my father doing this type of thing.
And then Heinz will say, wait, what about that thing in its throat, that tentacle? Could that be some kind of creature with weird powers that enable it to do these things? Maybe it's a parasite.
That is...
No, pretty much, it's like it's a type of liquid. If you went in and actually touched it, you could actually telepathically link to its mind and communicate with it.
How's our sensors picking that up?
Basically, you assume it's actually because it's not actually reaching.
Is this tentacle thing or whatever connected directly to its brain as well? Or just going down its throat? Okay.
It's definitely attached to its brain. Yep, 100%.
I was gonna ask you.
It's not going down its throat. It's just.
It's starting there.
There at the back. It's definitely at the back of the
mouth.
At the back of the mouth, and just hanging there. It's not going down. It's just staying there.
Okay, I think that's the key to all of this. I think we need to figure out what that is and how it's... Because if it's got telepathic abilities, it's probably controlling, at the very least, the brain of this creature in some way. And more than likely, this creature, it's a natural, thing. Like, this creature just naturally can be telepathic. But that could also explain some of the more metaphysical reasons as to how it's breathing in space and all that stuff. We might need either a Vulcan mind meld or some kind of closer in-depth scan of that one appendage.
May well be that it is a parasitic creature, not entirely dissimilar to a joined trill, and that it is actually the strange tentacle-like appendage that the Dominion or the Infamous were interested in, and that the whale that is protecting it, carrying it, is a relatively conventional host without this creature adding to it, perhaps.
Basically, it's like a drill, but it's not. Basically, they're both. They can't survive one without the other, type thing.
So it is like a symbiotic relationship. It's not just
Yeah.
It's not just like an arm on a person. It's an actual other being attached to it.
Yeah. So if you try and remove that, it's like if you try and remove a symbiote out of a trill, and both are still alive, well, they're both gonna die.
Right. And I also have another theory, and that is that once these things actually go into the wormhole, they're not going to come out the other side. Because
It's possible.
as we know, the prophets and the paw wraiths and other godlike entities reside within that dimension of space, and they could just be like formerly part of that dimension of space, and then all of a sudden now they're in our space and they're just doing some metaphysical BS to be able to live and exist and breathe in space, but really they're just a whole other dimension from us, and we just don't understand it. So I guess,
or they could do something similar to that one person, like the false prophet from DS9, where they just kept him for a few hundred years and then released him, so they could go, "You're being persecuted. We will shelter you until the people that are persecuting you are all dead," and then they're just released 400 years later.
Yeah, it could be anything like that. But I think those are the two things: is the wormhole and the that parasite symbiont thing are the two main keys here.
People give me insight security for a reason. Everyone.
Okay, I can actually do that.
Oh, okay, cool.
I can't because I'm not at my character. I'm not on roll 20. Can someone do that for me?
Infamous, can you do that?
Yeah, give me 1 sec.
I don't know if I have focus for this.
Yeah, what are we being vigilant about?
Basically, you're looking at through your eyes, not the computers. You're deliberately looking through your eyes.
So with the naked eye, basically.
Yeah.
In that case, yeah. Lass, I don't think I'm going to have a focus for this.
So mine is the first one for Heinz, and the second one is for Karava.
Infamous guy, I was wondering, can Romulans mind meld?
If they
Sure,
can,
second single dice. There we
if
go.
they can, it would take like a lot of work. Like your character probably couldn't. It would take a lot of like discipline and work, like many.
I
years
think
of
they have
training.
something different that they can do, but it's not as precise and not as delicate.
And what's the cool for mind melding?
So I can tell that Haynes, Guy, and Corvinus just basically continue chatting. Lex, basically, Lex, Soth, and Velik, you got it. Basically, it was a 2. So you get
And
2.
I use Kolnar, so that's -1 difficulty. Just to be sure. The talent, I mean, not.
Yeah. So you get
Do you need that-
3.
Do you need that
Extra
roll
one?
from engineering?
Yep.
All right, give me a sec. I got a 6 and a 9.
You definitely get it. You 3 notice that Bruna is definitely her eyes are definitely in the back of her head.
Ah, fuck! I forgot she was telepathic.
She's empathic and telepathic.
Yeah, I completely forgot.
And the moment, yeah, I was like, I might get used to roll for this because it's going to be interesting because I wanted to see if anyone noticed. Yeah, her eyes are in the back of her head. You don't know why her eyes are in the back of her head.
So like physically.
And then yeah, physically in the back of her head.
Okay.
Then use basically get even the people who didn't notice. You all get brought into a somewhat plane as well.
A
With
somewhat plain as well. What?
plane of like
747.
say
Sorry.
you're standing in a grassy field with Runa.
Oh, so we're not even.
Yeah.
When you say
Oh,
plane,
yeah.
you
Yep.
really mean another plane. Okay,
Yeah, plane of existence. Like
gotcha.
Like D&D planes.
Yep.
Carl was just saying to Corvinus, I'm not jilly about not being able to mind meld, not at all. How do you?
Excuse me.
Is Runa?
Yeah.
Does Question.
Immediately. Oh yes, please carry on.
this feel like an orb experience?
yes. Somewhat of a orb experience as well.
And is Runa still standing there with her eyes glossed over, or is she now back to normal?
She's in the plane normal as you can be.
Okay.
Normal. And she's talking to her mom in front of her.
Okay, I think Edgeford wanted to say something too.
No, it's been superseded.
Oh, okay. Alright, so I don't remember who her mom is, but I think security probably
Ashlyn?
will... Oh yeah, that's right. Does it look
Yeah.
like... Is it Paw Wraith Ashlyn? Like red eyes?
No.
Okay, good. Then I'll let security
No,
handle
no.
this.
Basically, she's definitely talking. Unless she's going to go up closer, you won't know what they're talking about.
Well, Lex does give off a little minor swears, like, never wanted to do another one of these stupid things again. Ruined my childhood.
Okay, soft notes that's a conversation for another time when we're not in the middle of the crisis. But he'll wander over because he's very much of the notion that strange things are happening. We should all remain close, which would also mean that he could probably hear what's happening.
It takes a couple of seconds for Carl to realise we're not on the ship. Then she'll just sort of follow Sop to see what's happening.
You can pick up that she's actually not talking to her mum. She's actually talking to the leader of you can talk. It physically looks like a mum, but it's actually somebody else talking through her mum, like somebody different.
I mean, Soth would have no idea of that. He has no idea who what Runa's mother's like.
Yeah, you can tell they're related, but you don't know if they're mother and daughter or sisters.
Yeah, but more importantly, he'd have no idea if this person's acting out of personality because he knows no idea what their personality's like. Unless they're saying really weird stuff that makes it very obvious. That just me and my pod mates were just swimming. Like that would give it away. But unless it's that obvious.
It's that obvious that there's me and my species have been flying through space trying to escape these big ships. They didn't know who they were, but they're trying to. We've been trying to escape them. We don't know how far their space goes to. Who are yous? What are yous?
This also means that they have a concept of space territoriality, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I'm Carava. I'm a bit of everything. I don't know. We're from the United Federation of Planets or Starfleet. We're peaceful. We're nice.
What is Starfleet?
She'll look to Velik or somebody else to explain that.
So, looking at her, do I recognize anything? I don't think I've ever met this side of the Runa family. I think I met AJ, and mind melded with him a couple of times, but that was it.
Basically, you don't know who this one is. You're probably guessing it's either a sister, because they look alike.
Okay. Well, I'll look at it and I'll say, we were on a mission. We were in a shuttle going through a wormhole, and we encountered some mammals, by the looks of it, who were traveling at warp speed, and all of a sudden, now we are here.
Oh, yeah, we brought you here.
You, as
Why?
you're the mammals that we encountered, or you control them, or
We are the mammals. We talk on this plane.
interesting choice of ships, I suppose. Why did you bring
No. We are the mammals. We aren't traveling in the mammals. We are the mammals.
Lex will kind of walk up and like, well, where are y'all going?
Away from the enemies who have been shooting at us. You obviously seen the wounds on us.
Right. And why were they shooting at you?
Because of our symbiont. Our connection to our symbiont. They definitely want to use the liquid, use what's in that to stop the aging process.
Heinz is going to ask, are you directly connected to the Prophet's plane of existence? The wormhole?
No, what are the prophets?
Oh, so it's just coincidence that you were heading towards this wormhole. Okay. I was just
Are
curious.
you aware of the wormhole?
Yes?
How far away could you detect the wormhole?
We detected it about 2 days ago.
Okay, out of character, that means they've got a sensor equivalent that reaches into the multiple light years. Which is
Yeah.
interesting.
Yes.
What I
Okay.
miss?
It wouldn't help.
Yeah. When I say a couple of days ago, yeah, they got sensors on them. You didn't even pick up on.
Although, I'm not going to get into it. Okay, Soth will say, okay.
I'll.
Form
Yeah.
is all of our understanding of our creatures, such as yourselves, should operate. How did you come to be the way you are is of immense curiosity to us.
You there, Matt? Mac, you're muted.
Mac, are you breathing? Mac! Mac!
Maybe something's just come up or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yes, that's
could
possible.
be AFK real quick. But yeah, Heinz is basically just gonna bombard her with questions, or it.
The ketchup or the underwear?
He's just gonna bombard this creature with questions, and yeah, he's really curious, so he's not gonna stop. As soon as the creature stops answering, he's gonna just keep on asking questions.
Crover's gonna ask her.
Yeah,
cool.
back.
Welcome back.
Yeah, but the I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, you're not the only one.
Yeah, I had to go and answer it all. Sorry about that.
I would have been like, keep walking, motherfuckers. Sorry. Basically, they asked how the creatures came to be how they are.
Oh yes, they look at DJ for some reason. Huh. We haven't sensed you.
You cut there, Mac. You just said we haven't
Yeah,
sensed
you
you.
just cut.
He goes, you give off that familiarity.
Heinz says, "Are you two related? The creatures and the android?"
No, we aren't related, but he is an android.
Well, he is now. He didn't used to be. I think he used to be a big tentacle creature. So, oh, I get it now. Sorry, I actually don't remember if Heinz knew that, to be honest with you, so I probably shouldn't even said that.
Yeah. This is the first time hearing of tentacle creatures.
Basically,
Oh god, you don't have to remind me of those stuff.
basically, DJ's got a stone in his head that is his brain.
Yeah, we knew that.
Yeah. He goes. She goes. Oh, that's why. Your father.
Who's his father? Heinz asked.
I recognize that same familiarity at any time of the week. We won't go into detail about that, DJ. She's called him DJ.
Without him introducing himself, which is also interesting.
Honestly, thought it was just the GM messing up, so I just let it go. But yeah, that is interesting. So I think Heinz is gonna just be like, okay, they know each other somehow. Moving past that. So you creatures are, I'm guessing, from some other plane of existence, right? He gestures to the field around them.
Yes, we are.
Okay, I think that answers a lot of our questions.
That's kind of like the prophets. They're the aliens who live in the wormhole. Yeah. Or they're the gods that we worship anyhow.
And then whenever someone goes through the wormhole, especially if they happen to be an emissary, then the prophets or the wormhole aliens, whatever you want to call them, can either possess someone or appear in the form of their friends or family, and maybe this symbiotic creature is take the symbiotic creature and then that's the same thing as the prophets, and then take the whales and that's a person. So like whenever the prophets and I don't know how much my character knows about like what happened with Cisco and Gul Dukat, but I'm gonna assume that even if it's like top secret, then they at least know rumors and stuff. So like assuming when the prophets took over a normal human being's body that they can withstand extreme amounts of heat and all this other stuff, maybe the same thing is to be said for the whales. Maybe once this symbiont took over the whales, it was able to do things that no normal whale could do. And then Heinz just shrugs.
But ours is a symbiotic relationship. Without the creature, the symbiont, we are us is dead. When we got the symbionts in us, the
So we're talking to the whales or the creature, the symbiont, or both.
both.
Oh, okay, so
So
they're from the same place, similar to the Trills. So it's not like someone taking over another body on another planet and then taking it in space. They're both from the same dimension. Is that what
Yep.
Heinz is? Okay.
Yeah.
So really, our physics, quote unquote, aren't really relevant to them.
Yeah.
Possibly. And Subtle gesturing to DJ as he says to the whale creatures in the form of Runa's mother, and you credit your existence to this person's father.
Yes.
No, wasn't it DJ's
What
fault?
was? Yeah,
Yeah,
he was gesturing to
DJ's
DJ when he said this person's father.
Oh, okay.
How is this accomplished?
It's not easy on your on the plane of existence of what you think it is. We were allowed to leave, and we weren't told much about told anything about the space. He looks at DJ and says, she looks at DJ and says, "You have a nice grandmother as well."
Are we able to hear what's going on in the real world, or are we completely subsumed by this new reality?
You're concerned by the new reality at the present time.
Okay, fair enough.
So she goes on about we as a species seek asylum
With the Federation, or just like?
with the Federation.
I'm guessing you're trying to get away from the Infamous and the Dominion.
If that's what you call them.
What do y'all use for nutrients? What do y'all eat?
The gill in space?
I mean, like, would y'all thrive in a area that he describes Badlands? Would that be a good environment for y'all?
With plasma storms
I
and
don't
such?
That would hide us fairly well in there.
Oh,
We would thrive in there.
I remembered something. I just remember the Tuesday game. Maybe plasma isn't the place for these creatures to go.
Yeah.
Well, there's also regions like the Briar Patch that has a lot of
Subspace
what was it,
distortion.
Metreon particles?
Yeah, something like that.
The other quadrants are filled with a wide variety of wonderful locations for you to explore. Come with us.
You can have the entire Breen Confederacy. But yeah, no. If we can figure out what what you feed on, like the nutrients or the particles or whatever it is that you actually consume the most of, and then we can find a part of space that is a lot of that, and then we can take you there or show you where it is. Or do you already have an idea of where that is, and it's in the Alpha Quadrant?
We don't know where it is. She shows on a it's like on the right side a like somewhat plasma storm. That's our favorite food. We haven't found one in quite some time.
Okay, I think
You might like the Badlands then.
yeah, I think we could help with that. It's up to Lieutenant Runa here if she wants to accept your, asylum because we're just cadets. But I don't
Yeah.
see any problem with it as a cadet.
Rena says we do. The one we'll have to start opening negotiations to let you become Federation's civilians. That will be like captains and stuff like that, admirals.
Yeah, and this is probably more of an out of character lore question than anything, but these creatures being just natural, well, I guess supernatural might be more of a better term, but just like kind of like space animals that just migrate from place to place. Like, if they're seeking asylum, are they seeking to be citizens of the Federation, or are they seeking just like for us to let them go out in a pasture and do whatever they want, like animals on Earth do, and just leave them alone? I'm not sure which they would prefer.
They're actually seeking asylum, so a place to stay.
Okay, so they want to be like full-on like citizens, protected by the Federation and Starfleet.
Or at the very least, a protectorate species.
Yeah.
I know what my next
term.
I know what my next Star Trek character is going to be.
Space whale.
Yeah.
Yes. Now I'm going to make that a homebrew species that people can play as. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You can't play Horta or Tribble, but you can play a space whale.
Oh, I want to play a Tribble just to mess with people.
No, never. I will step on them all.
Why do people hate Tribble so much?
I don't hate them. I just don't like them as player characters.
They're adorable. They make cute cooing noises.
Yeah, we'll put them in a cage and not let them breed ever.
I mean, you better carry your neutering papers everywhere, or people will just shoot you.
Yeah, they'll just start shooting the pet.
They're technically born pregnant. So can you neuter them?
Well, a good combat boot can fix that. Abusing animals. Okay, moving on.
Basically, they would turn around and say, "No one will find you in our herd. We're actually bringing your shuttle with us."
So we could escort them through the wormhole, right? Heinz is asking.
Yes.
Lieutenant Runa. Okay. And Heinz wants to ask one more question of the creature. How many? So we know you have the armor, but how many of you were killed by the anti-proton weapons, or were they not able to penetrate your hull? Because I want to get a general idea of how powerful your armor is.
They weren't able to penetrate it.
Okay, that's probably
but they
why
did
want
enough
it.
to. It did enough to not damage us, but
just kind of wound you a bit.
Yeah, kind of wound us a bit.
Gotcha. Yeah. Alright. I think Heinz is done with questions for the moment. So, as far as the diplomacy goes, I think that's all Lieutenant Runa.
Yeah, we can actually say that can happen out of game. But now you understand why they're being hunted is based on their armor.
Their armor and that telepathic thing that gives you a lot of years on your life. I mean, honestly,
yeah,
I would hunt these things if I could. Like I now thank you, by the way, for giving me another species that the infamous allegiance can completely enslave and conquer and take over. So thank you for that.
Yes.
Some are
Yes.
slightly concerned at their casual mention that they have just taken control of our ship, whilst we're unconscious.
I think that was Runa, right? Runa said that
No,
we were going to escort them, or did they take it over?
they one of them's got the pretty much you don't know what's going on, but they put you in they're actually around your ship, but you're in one of their force warp.
Oh, we're inside the
force
warp
field,
bubble.
yeah. Because they
Yeah.
said we will take you with us.
I thought Runa
so,
said that. I was like, Runa's telling them, like, yeah, we're going to take you with us, Space Whales. And I was like, yeah, let's do this. I didn't know they were like, yeah, come with me if you want to live.
Yeah, so basically, they've cut your time down, like, from...
Because our max speed is like 7 or some shit. Warp 7.
Yeah, you're going to be at the warp, the wormhole in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Oh, so they have a warp capability in the sort of 9 range.
Yeah, so like a lot.
Basically, their cruising is 9.
Yeah, so they're probably closer to 10. Is their max.
If they were going to push to their actual max, it's way off the charts.
Maybe that's why
they basically be going into.
Maybe that's why
they basically be going into transwarp or slipstream at their max.
Yeah, they'd be going past 9.999999.
Yeah. Maybe that's why they're
nothing can go past 10.
Because they went past the salamander stage and now they're in the whale stage.
Soth is starting to think a bit like the infamous Allegiance, although he's doing a lot to not think that because he's aware these creatures are in his head and he does not like this.
Yeah.
But he is thinking, like, Jesus, we need to understand the biology of these creatures so we can use to propel our ships, other stuff, life support,
armor.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you may end up having an ally.
Drive.
Yeah. So you're casually making your way there.
Say, Clover's just happy that we're meeting new people.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to ask more questions, you can.
Hyde's is gonna ask, can we leave this mindscape and go back to our ship now?
Yeah.
Okay, he's gonna do that.
You just go back. Basically, he releases you back into your back into the reality, your reality.
You guys just see him disappear, and you hear a. Oh shit! I can't do it. Yeah, that's what you hear. A popping sound. Anybody else coming with him?
Lex just finds a nice place in the sun and lays down. He's like, just tell me when we're there.
Soth wants to be directly in control of his body and have the ability to control the ship he's in. He wants to be back in conventional reality. He does not trust this.
Yep, you're back in your body, 100%.
Yeah, same for
and you notice,
same for Corvinus, because at that point, like, just kind of a rackety on the mindset of being yanked out of your body. He does that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Not cool, Wales. Not cool.
You notice?
Oh no, you carry on.
You notice that you're in one of the whale's warp bubbles, so you are actually traveling at warp with it.
All of the scans.
Yes, I'll do that since I'm science. I don't. Oh no, Velik's back. So yeah, Velik, you can run some scans. I'll roll for the ship to assist.
Mind you, it's going to be. Yeah. Basically, you're in a position where you can actually.
I'm also assisting with my character because I think my character would be interested in this scan too. All right, so nothing assisted you, but you didn't need it because you always roll well.
Apparently.
Yeah, basically, it was only difficulty 1 because the position of where the ship is.
Nice.
You can basically pick up that the sensors that they have are basically biological, so it's basically part of them, and their actual warp capability is actually part of their genetic structure. So basically, it's part of their brain. They can actually go to warp as well.
If we could put this on a person, oh my god, the things we could do.
I can't remember what he's called, but these whales are giving me, I think he was called the Traveller vibes, the one that guided Wesley to being insanely
Basically,
powerful.
yeah, if you think it, you can do it. Basically, think it and go, and you'll be there, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But you haven't figured it. Basically, you know they got capabilities to shield themselves.
In addition to
as
the
well.
armor.
Yep.
Okay. So they basically have all the abilities of a starship, but on a whale, and it's natural. It's a natural thing.
Yeah. It's a natural thing.
Interesting.
Wow. Natural in huge air quotes.
I cannot promise you that I won't experiment on these whales. I'm just saying.
If Carver could stay in the mindscape, she would, and she'd just like asking questions to the whales, like, what are the most interesting things they've seen? She'd be telling them about her life, that sort of stuff.
Oh, they will tell you all the interesting life they've seen. And the different galaxies they've traveled as well. They would have told you they traveled through.
Wait, so they went through different galaxies too?
Yeah.
This is me out of character. Now I'm actually shocked, like in real life. So they got through. Not only did they get through the galactic barrier, but they have visited other galaxies.
Yes.
Okay, these are the new best characters ever.
Like just a casual out of character comment. The power creep is insane.
Yeah.
Yippee!
And that is why
the level 1 characters.
Basically, this is why the infamous Legion is really interested in them, because they can travel through the galactic barrier with ease.
Yeah.
It's insane.
You know what? Thinking back to season 4, and this is out of character, but thinking back to season 4, you know, the infamous Armada had like jump drives where they could just disappear and appear wherever. Maybe this is where they got it from in this universe.
Who knows?
Once we're through the wormhole, does the whales like peel off, or do they stay with us?
They stay with you. They're going towards. Rona told him about. Rona told him about Deep Space Nine. How it's close to the wormhole. They can easily.
They're gonna have a conversation with whoever's in charge. Oh, okay. My first thought was they're just gonna crash through it on their way to the Badlands.
No, Runa has already explained to him that in order for them to have asylum, we're gonna have to start the processes through to the diplomatic talks of
Yeah, they have to talk
where
to
we
the
can
captain,
actually
basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright. This probably doesn't matter, but I'll mention it just in case it does, since the whales are extraordinarily powerful telepaths, is they'll, if for whatever reason their telepathic eye turns towards Soth, the main thing they'll be getting from Soth is stay the hell out of my head, stay the hell out of my head, stay the hell out of my head. And he's really trying to struggle hard. He has no idea if they're in his head. How would he know? But he is pushing hard for as long as he feels they are a threat. Which is going to be for as long as they are around.
They aren't going to just take you out of your body. If you're specifically going to say, stay out of my head, they won't go violating that.
Good to know.
Yeah. So they only brought you in so you can be part of the conversation.
They did the space equivalent of when your boss just walks past your desk and says, walk with me, and then you guys have a conversation while en route to his office, but then you get to the office door and he says, now go back to work, and then he just closed the door in your face.
Yep.
I guess that's only happened to me.
Oh, no. It hasn't happened to me, but I've seen it happen to other people.
So yeah, Verona will let the captain of the space station know that they are definitely telepathic, and either we have to get a telepathic and empathic captain to talk to them.
Should we randomly generate a captain for Deep Space Nine?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Bajor would actually be in control of Deep Space Nine by now, right? Yeah.
I think so.
Let me.
But
yeah, go ahead.
But I think Bajor is part of Starfleet now.
Well, that's what me and Norris was talking about. I actually didn't specify in the timeline if they ever did. So for right now, we're just going on the assumption of until it comes up, we won't specify it. But I think they used to be part of. So in the in season 4, in the other universe, they were part of. I think it was called the Independent Zone, where all of the demilitarized zone was made it its own sovereign territory. Whether you were Cardassian or human or Bajoran, you basically, were in this sovereign territory. And I think that Bajor was part of that. And in this universe, I don't think we ever specified because I never got around to it.
If we're going to keep Bajor's political alignment undefined, then it's probably wise to keep DS9 under Starfleet control in a manner similar to the show.
Yeah.
Because it will come up the first time anyone hails DS9. The uniform the guy is wearing.
Yeah.
Will be immediately.
Yeah.
I do remember saying that Deep Space Nine was partially Starfleet. It was way less than it was, but in the show, I think in the show there was 1,500 people on, or 2,000 people on it or something, and they had several hundred Starfleet, and I think we'll just say it's somewhere between 50 and 100 Starfleet. They're just basically there to help operate it. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'll just make it Bajoran just to make it easier. Make a Bajoran captain real quick.
Yeah, I reckon it would be easier if it was a Bajoran captain.
Would question, and this definitely I shouldn't be. Someone else should be asking this, but I'm making the character, so I'll do it. But I know this is a meta question, but are these creatures able to communicate with someone who has had an orb experience? No?
Yes.
Okay, then I'll make a Bajoran captain who has had an orb experience. That way they can just telepathically communicate.
Yeah.
Oh, so they'd be able to they'd be able to communicate with my character.
Yes. I forgot to ask about that one as well. So, yeah, orb experience, yes.
Although they'd probably also be able to sense that that my character's not a fan of them.
Yeah.
Even though he's had one, he doesn't really he doesn't like doing them.
That won't bug you.
Basically, his warp experience was unintentional.
Yeah.
He was a young kid and wandered into the wrong room. That it just kind of happened. Now, childhood trauma is childhood trauma.
Yeah. Plus, the good thing about it is that, you see some smaller whales, if anyone's looking out the window, just playing around.
Some kid whales, some
Yeah.
baby whales.
Yeah.
Little whales.
Little whales playing around.
Are we disembarking at DS9, or are we carrying on?
You'll be disembarking at DS9.
Can I? Oh,
Okay.
Since we, I meant to do this before we went into the wormhole, but I got caught up in everything. Can I say that? I mean, the ships have like sensors and communications arrays that allow for inter wormhole communications, subspace communications. So I'm going to say that you guys on both runabouts, you get messages, voice messages, basically saying that the issue has been taken care of on the campus in the Gamma Quadrant, and to return as soon as possible. And Captain Eldon is dead.
Yeah.
Who is instructor?
It's Merzak.
Merzak giving us that. Okay. Permission to insight security that for.
Sure.
Can we trust this?
Cravo will do that too.
Okay, that's fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Do that as well.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Everyone's
That
trusted.
What's the
Yeah.
difficulty, if any?
Probably 0, because he's being honest. That's just, gives you some momentum, I guess.
Free momentum. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, yeah, it looks like Captain Eldon is dead, killed by the nanite when he, at some point, finally decided he wasn't going to obey the Infamous anymore. And he'll just send that information to you, I guess, so that you have the full picture.
This, I mean, obviously we'll obey orders. Is this the kind of message that allows a response, or is this very much just a one-way thing?
I mean, you can send a response. You guys have the communications equipment on the shuttle or the runabout to be able to send it back, so yeah.
Yeah. Obviously it would be Runa's call, but the thing that Soth would raise to Runa is, what about the threat of the fleet entering into orbit and glassing us from space?
Yeah. I'll personally send the message back. So, saying, hey, we're doing a diplomatic thing. We have to take care of something at Deep Space Nine.
And alligator, that shouldn't be interpreted as Soth saying, I don't want to go. Oh, he wants to go. He wants to be at or near the front. But it's more a case of, this is a tactical, an important tactical facet that people appear to have forgotten about. We should consider this.
Basically, she's only letting on that diplomatic situation of, got a diplomatic situation that we have to go and handle at Deep Space Nine. So he doesn't grow suspicious about anything.
Okay.
I mean, how would he be suspicious? That's just a normal thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you just said, if you could tell him everything that happened, and he'd be like, okay. That's just a par for the course for Starfleet.
Yeah, we got a diplomatic species seeking asylum. We have to go to Deep Space Nine.
He'll just respond, that's fine. See you when I see you. And if anybody wants to, I know, Edgeford, you mentioned, that the Infamous could just come and glass your planet. If y'all want to make another insight security check, or actually, did anyone get three successes or more?
Yes.
Okay.
Soft did.
Okay.
Soth did.
Soth, you, and Runa probably because you're an officer. You would know that that's just.
Wait,
Sorry, go ahead, guy.
did someone roll for my character though? I don't have the character sheet, bro. Because I'm still on my phone.
Yeah, give me one sec. So yeah, you guys would know that that's highly unlikely because that would just make an all-out war between the Federation, and the Infamous isn't ready for that right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the threat to do that was probably an empty threat. Okay.
Oh yeah. Well, it depends who it comes from. The Infamous himself wouldn't do it. However, that the Dren clone that was on the planet, he might do it. But I'll go ahead and tell you that T.I. Merzek says that he's dead as well.
Ah, okay.
Yep.
So you should be good.
And plus, she's going back so they can get another ship to come and guard the planet.
You guys do need another ship. Might need a few.
Yeah, Rona will be asking if they can get a few ships to come back to the planet.
Someone roll a d6, and that's how many ships we'll get.
Lex will also suggest maybe building a space station, an actual like full-fledged space station in the system.
Yeah,
I rolled a d6 and I got 5.
All right, so we'll get 5 ships to guard the planet. And as far as the space station, yeah, you guys have like 3 satellites that you can fit maybe half a dozen people on, but they're working on getting a full-fledged space station up and running, as well as a defense orbital defense platform.
Yeah, yeah. Mm.
It's a resource-intensive school.
Basically, they're gonna. She would inform them what happened, to say, "Hey, we need the resources back over."
Yeah.
And that's why they're sending 5 ships, is because they don't want a incident like this to happen again.
Yeah, you just had the one Prometheus class, and then you had like a small escort ship that was not even it was at the far end of the solar system when all this was going down. And then it came back and it was like, what's going on? Can you stop for a sec? I just need to ask you some questions. And then you flew past it. Oh, that reminds me. So Runa, you or Mac, you had told me in the last game that you wanted to roll something to convince them something, and I completely forgot about it and glossed over you, even though you rolled and got successes. So for the next session, Mac, you can have 2 bonus momentum to use that for any presence roll.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Yeah. I was hoping the incident with what's happened at the campus actually got rectified.
Yeah, and we can say he sent you guys like full reports through like the security channels so that nobody but you gets them and everything. So you guys will be, on the way back, you'll with your 5 ships escorts, you'll be able to be like, oh, okay, this is what happened.
Basically, Rona would sit the 5 captains down specifically and give them reports of what happened at the base, so they are well aware of what has happened and why they're being called to be here.
Okay, yeah, they'll do what's needed.
Yeah.
Do you want all of them to be warships, or do you want some to be science and some to be warships? And this is for everybody. Anyone can pipe in.
I'd say mix.
A mix. Okay.
Probably one command class ship like a Sovereign or Galaxy or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
2 escort classes and 2 science.
Okay, sounds reasonable.
I think a 3-2 mix.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you'd want one that would be bigger and stronger than the others. That'd be the capital, not command ship.
Yeah. On that theme, although hopefully, of course, since this is in the future, it'll be the future version of the Sovereign. But the replacement.
Sure.
But crucially, because 5 ships are coming, presumably at least one of those ships is also going to be carrying a flag officer.
Or a fleet captain.
Yeah.
Probably that.
Yeah. Are they? I'm guessing they're taking overall command of the academy,
No.
the ships, the post. Like. Oh,
No.
okay.
So Captain Eldon was only in charge of the Republic, and T.I. Merzek, who was, I believe, just a lieutenant, was in charge of the planet, basically. And that's why there was a big going back and forth between them, because he had told Merzek, like, hey, I have an I have to do this. And then Merzek was like, fuck you, I don't care, you can die, I'm going to protect my cadets. And yeah, there was this whole big thing, but ultimately, it is up to the instructor on the ground to be in charge of the ground, essentially. The captain is never going to have charge, unless you're on the captain's ship training, and then of course you would be. But if you're on the planet, it's no jurisdiction.
Okay.
Obviously, if there was an emergency, like maybe the training instructor died and then the captain had to come down or whatever, that's one thing. But just in normal situations, it stops at training instructor Merzek. Like, that's where the buck stops. A frickin' fleet admiral could not tell him what to do if it had something to do, unless it was like the admiral in charge of the academy. But like any random admiral could not tell him what to do with his cadets. So that's where the buck stops.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why yous were able to get off fairly quickly. Because the Mizeki told Runa to
get you guys out of there.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
So Mac, if you want to continue, and then after the game, I'll start making the ships.
So basically, you just get them safely there, and she leaves them in the presence of the captain there, so they know that they're safe there.
I'm just imagining like 5 whales sitting in the captain's office. Sorry, I'm weird. Go ahead.
Basically, there's more than 5 whales. There's like
yeah, I know. There's like hundreds probably.
Yeah, there's like probably thousands. That's how much.
Wow.
And you were able to go. Yeah.
Are we leaving Deep Space Nine now, or are we doing the things well now? Oh, okay. If we're leaving Deep Space Nine, Kramer's gonna think, like she's gonna basically try and say to them, good luck with, what's gonna what your next journey, and hopefully, things will be better soon, kind of thing.
Yeah, they're safely inside Federation space, so they're not gonna, or at least in the presence of Bajor and the Federation. Yeah, Bajor in space, which is good because they won't get attacked, or they're gonna get from Starfleet.
Some Cardassian pirates might attack them, but other than that, you'll be fine.
Basically,
yeah.
Basically, she's going to wish them well as much as possible, kind of thing.
On the way back, if there's nothing else planned, if there's still stuff to do,
on the way back you
on.
can.
But it's just a little thing. If there's nothing else to do this session, Soth was just going to have something small.
There's nothing else. If you got something else to do, then yeah.
Alright, in that case, Soth will, at some point on the journey back, ask Corvinus to step into into like the little shared cabins that they've got on the runabout, and he's going to make very, very sure they are alone in the room and the door is locked. It is very important that no one is able to observe.
Corvinus looks over and just make sure to lock the ever-loving shit out of it. Try to look for anything if it's bugged. Just, the whole extra 300 billion light miles.
Yeah. And then he'll say, I'm used to always being overheard by a certain someone these days. Do you wish you were just a few years older, Corvinus?
I'm sorry, out of character, my brain just farted like...
Oh yeah, like Corvinus might not know what's going on. Soth is just
It's-
assuming you know what he's talking about. If you don't know what he's talking about, you can just ask.
The problem is, I don't know the context behind who you're talking about. It seems that I was
see.
stationed in a place in which I wasn't really aware of what was going on. All I know, I was ordered to evacuate the ship, and now we're here.
I'm not worried. Or he gestures at the door and the various security things. This isn't anything about being spied upon or anything along those lines. No, this is far more petty and personal. It's it's DJ. Every time I say something, he always seems to hear. He always seems to come. I'm guessing much the same things happen to you.
It seems a little uncanny.
Hmm.
Well, too uncanny.
Yes, and the reason why I asked if you were if you would wish that you were maybe a year or two older, and I'm certainly glad that I'm not a year younger than I am, is so as that we wouldn't have to share our time at the academy with him.
Yeah, that is... Frankly, I suppose I was lucky to be somewhat ahead of everyone else, or the fact that this one's a first year, and well, you know the rest.
I think of all the people here, you are the one that I trust the most, not just in terms of your integrity, but also emotionally, with Velik coming in second. But, which is strange, eh? He chuckles a little at that.
Busting a Vulcan.
And says, I'm just needed to express my frustrations at someone, lest I start acting irresponsibly, for someone to tell me that I'm being a little silly and calm me down. Because at least I'm a year ahead of DJ. I won't have to compete with him for graduation honors, citations, placements, etc. We're not in the same cohort. But I worked hard, yes. Since I was a child, I have worked hard for this. My family has expectations of me. I have sweat blood to get ahead of the crowd. I don't demand to be the best. Only a fool demands to be the best everywhere at everything all at once. But I nonetheless aim to be at a slightly upper end of the class. That is sufficient. And some notice fall upon me for possible command, school, future career, and to do my family proud. As we spend time with that person, not really sure quite how to refer to him, it is as though everything we do is eclipsed. Everything I bled for falls into his lap, and he doesn't even seem to realize it. Every achievement we make, he triples without even having to barely wake up in the morning. None of us are going to be noticed as long as we're in his shadow.
I deeply appreciate you willing to actually let everything out, because ultimately bottling everything up tends to result in a nuclear accident. You know of the incident of April of 1986? It happened on Earth, and as a result of human error, as well as a whole slew of errors bottling themselves up, brought about one of the worst nuclear accidents in Earth's history. Seems that I appreciate that we're trying to actually not have this kind of explosion, and also I believe most of us have blood, sweat, and tears into trying to get into this academy in the first place, and all it seems that this thing is getting everything on a silver platter. Where's the competition? Where's the hard work put on it? Where's the ethics on it? That's what I'm personally worried about. Because
Soft.
if
Okay.
if those who are actually putting their damnedest to get everything done, yet there is some artificial intelligence just replacing that and putting those who are actually doing it under its shadow, what is the point of actually... How do I put this into words? It takes away the motive of why the Federation exists in the first place.
Soth nods in vigorous agreement and says, absolutely. It is fundamentally, shall we say, counter to morale. And it reminds me slightly of some of the reasons why we outlawed eugenics. It's not just the terrible things that can be done in the names of eugenics and genetic engineering, but also what it means for all of the people around it, all of the people who are not so bestowed with gifts. And what we have learned today, that their father and potentially grandmother are, well, we don't know exactly what they are, but beings on the par of Q in order to create those kinds of creatures. Again, what else may happen? Explains, in part, how so many things just seem to fall so neatly and easily in line.
Corvinus would be subtly nodding and listening very in precise details of what his practically, surprisingly, most trusted person in this entire place, because frankly, he's quietly not really sure if he should take this as a compliment, but actually also an acknowledgement of, well, they're both people trying to work their damnedest, even if it means putting their all into actually doing what's best, you know? Shit, did I just kill this chat? God damn.
No.
Pete.
Soth
Oh, I was listening.
yeah, Soth will nod in agreement with some of those observations. And say, I'm glad to know that I am perhaps not the only one who is becoming vexed
Suspicious?
at this person's presence. Indeed, I have no hostile intention beneath my dignity as a potential Starfleet officer. I will not raise my hand or do anything to sabotage DJ, but that, if anything, just makes me more annoyed as I am unable to do anything about this problem.
Of course, the best we could do is to keep an eye on this thing. See if there's anything ulterior behind it.
Perhaps, but we must not allow our desire to find something ulterior to taint our observations and investigations. DJ is likely
passive examination. Not an active investigation, but just passively. Not engage in their behavior and whatsoever.
Yes,
The best we can do is to persist in our own ways.
This is wise, but I do not actually suspect DJ of any maliciousness, any ill intent. I do not believe that they are a hostile agent, and if they do turn on us, they will turn on us in the same way that a person accidentally turns on an ant, steps on them. It isn't because he hates the ant, it's because he doesn't even notice. And that is what is perhaps at the root of my frustration here. I was... and he gestures around and says, perhaps it is jealousy, perhaps it is small-minded bitterness, perhaps it is just the whining of somebody, but I went here to study with men, for want of a better phrase, and I have suddenly found that I am sharing a class with a god.
Oh, sorry, I'm out of character. It's just a random message.
So next episode, Soth and Corvinus join the infamous league.
No one actually bothered to actually turn off the sensors.
Yeah, DJ is standing right at a command console.
No, they did. They closed the door. And,
and not to mention, from the power of the autism spectrum, he just aggressively made sure there were no bugs at either.
Basically, DJ is not even censoring, doing internal sensors. So if somebody's actually listening in, then it's not him.
Yeah.
He's in the cupboard.
There was a lot of very obvious statements at the beginning about making sure that this was in no way overheard.
Yeah.
I say, while they're doing that, Krava, she goes and she approaches DJ,
Okay.
and she'll look very serious for a moment, and then she'll say, "Hey DJ, we're gonna watch some cowboy movies. I'm gonna wrangle Velik. Do you wanna come?"
Yeah? Let's go and watch him.
Great. They're the highest form of human culture, don't you know?
Oh, really?
Yeah, exactly. They're really. Oh man, like, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Oh man, that's one of the best movies. One of the best human entertainment ever made.
We should
right
basically we should bring along Karava and Edge and Karava and yeah, Corvinus and Edge.
Soft, I mean.
Soft and Corvinus.
That's brilliant.
Make it a full casting. Make it a full casting.
Yeah, it's just everybody except for Heinz, who's left in the cockpit with the instructor. He's just like,
Carver will bring
Heinz with us. We'll bring Heinz. You mentioned it to, and basically it would mean more if you mention it to
Of course.
Venus and Sloth, because there's
It'll
been something up
be
with them
brilliant.
too.
It'll be brilliant.
Yeah.
So Carver will go find Soth and Corvinus.
Oh god.
I'm imagining after there's a knock on the door.
there's a goat and a vulture outside.
Wandering around.
The door opens. There's a big beaming smile from the half Romulan, half Bajoran. She'll be like, "Soth, Corvinus, we're gonna watch some human entertainment. It's the best. It's the highest form of their culture. You should come."
Corvinus blinking as he's literally probably the only human in the room aside from wait.
Soth is able. Had there been no successes there or a complication, he would have not been able to conceal this. But Soth is in a bit of a grumpy mood, although he is. He's got. He feels a little better after being able to get something off of his chest to a friend. But when Karava is the one on the other side of the door, the thought that goes on in the back of Soth's mind is, "Oh, fantastic! My second least favorite person here." But for very different reasons. However, he will be completely straight-faced, and when he is invited to go and watch The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly,
she'll kind of notice that he looks a bit dour, and she'll put her hand on his shoulder and she's like, "Soft, you're my friend, and I love you, you know."
What about Citizen Kane or The Godfather? Actually, no. What about The Shawshank Redemption?
Never heard of those, but
well, actually, hold on. There's actually more movies aside from that. There's The Schindler's List. There's Shawshank Redemption. There's The Godfather. There's Raging Bull. Casablanca from 1942. Citizen Kane from 1941. Gone with the Wind in 1939. The Wizard of Oz from 1939. The One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in 1975. Lawrence of Arabia in 1962. Vertigo from 1958. Psycho from 1960.
You just
The Godfather
Corvinus.
You forget.
Wait, are they all cowboy
How
movies
long
as
do
well?
you think this trip is?
I think the
They're
real
right,
question
Corvinus. Go
is,
watch all of them.
I think the real question is, did Noster just remember all of that?
Yes, because I grew up watching those.
Oh wow, I can't even remember what movie came out last year.
Nothing good.
Actually, how about this? We watched Forrest Gump.
Basically, my head pokes around the corner and go, "How do you remember all that?"
That's funny
Whenever
coming
you're,
from an android.
whenever you're sitting in a shuttle, you tend to get bored, and then you dig into something that you're passionate about. Then, inevitably, you have an entire encyclopedia of movies from Earth's past. Personally, I have a disdain for 21st century movies, especially the 2010s and 2020s.
Basically, I like Corvinus's idea of movies. They seem interesting.
Yes, they do. We can watch them all. I'll make some good old fashioned Bajoran desserts, and we'll watch
Star
we'll
Wars
watch all the movies.
episode. What about a Star Wars: A New Hope?
You have 5 whole days of this, Soth.
Yeah. So Soth, on that theme, and I don't know if this is something to clip out, I don't know. But Soth will say, of course, I'm always happy to engage in team building activities with you all. I'll follow you in just a moment.
And he jumps out the
make sure
airlock.
he's the last. Not quite. Not quite. But what he does do is, as well as replicating, like a drink of water or something, he also replicates like headache pills and just pops them in his pocket because he's gonna need them.
All the while, Corvinus looks over and just whispers, "I believe I would like some of those just in case. Just in case. Especially the strongest kinds.
Yeah.
Maybe some
get
horse
some-
anesthetics."
Maybe not that. I think the replicator would throw up a bit of a sort of alarm. You are not authorized to.
Uh,
I believe both headache pills and melatonin would be definitely best.
Corvinus,
Yeah.
what's this thing I've heard called popcorn? What's that about?
Oh, allow me to enlighten you about the ways of popcorn. Give me a second, hold on.
She'll sit in front of you, just ready to expect, she's anticipating this wonderful conversation.
Well, I guess that's better than what happens in the cockpit.
DJ just hands you a data pad, Edred, and goes,
Of course,
"You
it
should."
actually was
you should-
started back in 1519, and practically from the discovery of corn itself. After you realize you heat up the seeds that have grown new forms of corn,
Alright, Noster,
They-
the GM was trying to talk.
pop.
Basically, the DJ actually hands Edred a data pad and go, "You got good reports from the teachers."
Okay, what has caused DJ to do or say that?
Seems like you've been upset. You should always pay attention to the senses, internal senses.
No, out of character. We covered this.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
covered it.
Basically, he wanted you to, if you're upset about any schoolwork, he wanted you to be like, "Yeah, they've been up there."
We went to very great lengths that we talked
Yeah,
about.
like
to make
to
sure
the
that
point
DJ could
Corvinus
not know
went
about
to
this
such
conversation.
An artistic detail to a level of Cold War era CIA levels of bullshit, just to make sure it's all secure.
But he heard you anyway.
No, it's not that he heard you guys. He thought Edred Soth was upset about schoolwork. That's why he wanted to let you know, but he doesn't know he's upset with him specifically.
But Soth has always not let on to Jay. He's always done the sort of like poker face stuff. It's
Yeah, that's why DJ doesn't know how Soth feels.
Yeah, that's why DJ
basically-
doesn't know.
Basically, the most they would have noticed is that the internal security had had a brownout
Yeah.
after
So-
y'all went back there.
Let me have a look.
What's
Basically, DJ automatically thinks that it's probably about schoolwork. He's probably annoyed about that.
Okay.
He doesn't know that he's actually annoyed about him specifically.
Okay. Soth will partly wonder, like, how the hell do you have access to my academic record? And he'll also partly be thinking, oh, great, so now I'm just receiving pity from you. Okay. But all of that will, again, suppressed, because Soth keeps rolling very well on these rolls, and he's practiced, as in, he is literally practiced and taught by politicians how to do the I am not giving you anything face.
I just decided to test out what. I think this is a super rare thing. I just want to test that out, just out of boredom.
Well, you did.
Oh.
You got 2 zeros. Super rare.
Indeed. But he'll take the pad and say, thank you, DJ. I'm not quite sure what caused you to bring this to me, but thank you nonetheless.
I thought you were being upset about your grades and all that. That's why I thought to do that for you.
I'm not upset at all. And because as I said, he has never ever led on the DJ that he's about anything, so he's going to deny it. I don't know if you want that to be a role, but yeah.
No.
Okay.
He's totally he doesn't really notice that he's upset with. Doesn't notice that part. You're upset with him.
No, it's not even that. It's he's denying that he's upset at all about anything. So, like he's yeah.
And I have a question: Is it actually allowed for any cadets to tap into anyone else's academic records? Is that kind of illegal?
It's technically hacking.
Yeah.
Basically, you did a.
I have a question though. How did you get access to his academic records?
I did ask the teacher if I can do it. So and I said I don't want to look at it. I just want to give it to the person so I don't want to see what's in there.
Soft doesn't believe that for a moment, because like, what teacher would say yes to that?
Because he doesn't want to be like, oh.
Excuse the two of us.
Yes.
Okay.
And it, like, walk away.
I will try to set up the movies. However, just give me and my compatriot here a moment. Just excuse me.
Yeah, Crowbar will take DJ by the shoulder, and she'll be like, "Oh, like holding him by the shoulder," and be like, "So DJ, so you used to be like a tentacle alien. What's that about?"
I don't know.
What Soth is thinking is
that sounds awesome.
Either DJ just lied, or Academy training instructors are giving out people's academic records to third parties on the I promise I won't look at them, which should not be happening.
Not only is that unprofessional, but isn't that a form of hacking?
It's against any number of regulations.
Well, it might be that it was only a list of like classes taken, but that's about it. Not how well they did. Which list of the classes would be something that would be acceptable to give out if you explain that you want to help them.
Yep, maybe, but it was led with, here are your grades. This is to make you feel better.
Hold on. I believe we received something.
Oh, yes. He checks and looks at.
You are ordered
Yes.
to report to Training Instructor Merzlik's office immediately upon your return to GS1. All is both our names as well as Velik's.
That is curious.
Hmm.
Well, Velik's name there gives me some assurances.
Yeah. As well as the fact that we're tied up in this meeting.
And yeah, continue.
Well, Soth would say, well, is there anything about that? Velik's name would not. And he says that very quietly because he's like in a case of no, we will not talk about this any further. But he says, and Velik being there, as I have said before, Velik is an incredibly reliable man, and so his presence there, as I said, gives me some confidence to the nature of this meeting and its outcome.
Hopefully so.
And the few days pass, and you end up back at the academy with, if the infamous wants to have the
Yeah, if you want me to finish up here, then basically my question for the three that I mentioned in that message is, as soon as the shuttle lands, do you go straight to the office?
Absolutely.
With a nod over to Soth in assurance, like, hopefully we'll be all right.
And what about Z?
I will follow. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I want
I
to follow
suppose
this
I'll
through.
lead up.
As soon as you get in there, there is. By the way, 5 starships did follow you guys here, but I'll make them for next session. But as soon as you get there, the captain of the flagship is standing there, training instructor Merzek is standing there, and another lieutenant that you haven't met that presumably came with the ships is standing there. She is in red command, and she has 3 data pads, and she places them on the desk, training instructor's desk, and we will get at the beginning of next session. Once you pick them up and read them, that is where you will find out what they are and what they say.
What the fuck is going on?
The person holding this pad is to be executed.
No, it's not that bad. All right. Anybody else have anything before we start off?
Oh wait.
After we land, Lex will go over the ship and basically do some maintenance and make sure everything's do basically a full diagnosis after interacting with the weird alien whales.
Mac, does he find anything weird about it, or is everything normal relatively?
Everything's normal.
Okay. That's all I've got.
So wait, I have a question.
Sure.
Are we in trouble?
I said we'll get to it at the beginning of the next session.
It will annoy her until next session. That.
I know. I will literally message each of you individually after this game, but for right now, let's do reputation.
Okay.
I will message you. I will tell you it's not bad.
Okay.
It's not bad.
Okay, good. Thank you.
It's not bad. All right, so yeah, I'll do reputation, and this is probably going to be for everybody because I think everyone pretty much did more or less the same stuff. Acted in accordance with orders and directives. That's one. Yes. Challenge a directive. I don't think anyone challenged a directive. Acted above beyond the call of duty. I mean, cadets studying space whales and then being transported to another plane of existence and doing diplomacy. That's pretty good. So yeah, +1 to there. Saving lives. I think if you were not there, the whales would have went through regardless. All you really did was facilitate the asylum, so you didn't really directly save any lives. Taking necessary risks. No. Person under your command were killed. Not yet. Directly contributed to deaths of others. No. Formed alliance with an enemy. I don't think the space whales were enemies. And I'm pretty sure we did reputation last time, so maintain or formed an alliance with an enemy wouldn't count for next time unless we didn't. I honestly don't remember, but I'm pretty sure we would have. because today's a different GM. Maintain the Prime Directive, yeah, for preventing combat. I don't think there was any combat to prevent in this session. Insubordination, no. So everyone gets 4 positive reputation dice. And if you use the determination, which I don't think you did, then go ahead and take a normal milestone, but I'm pretty sure nobody did.
What got changed when you were doing the rolling? 'Cause I remember before you do the roll, you had to change something on this.
On your character sheet?
Yeah.
Let's see. Are you on the second page? Yes, you are.
Yes.
No, you've already changed it. It's the rank that you got to change, but you've already changed it, so it's fine. So yeah, just type in the 4 there, click enter, or hit enter, and then click the combat. It should roll 4 dice for you.